Hello, my friend. My name is Anton from Canonic.com, and we continue our The Code Express series on Canonic.com and YouTube. So today is the seventh session, and we continue explaining how we could work with various data structures, data models inside the Python. We have covered so far how you could work with ordinary variables, Boolean strings, numeric. We have covered how you could work with lists, how you could work with the dictionaries. Now is the time to do the next step and to look how you could work with lists and with the dictionaries more efficiently. Namely, we'll take a look on the first type of the loop that exists in the Python. The first loop instruction that we will cover today is called for and is typically used when you need to go through each and every element in your list or dictionary to get its content to work on this element. Let's get started. As usual, I'll share my screen and we could continue working in the VM we was working previously so far. So to start with, we'll create as usual the file containing the containing our script. So we just take a look what is usual our shebang. So we will create such a file. We, as usual, create it using our touch command, and we will call the file loop.py. We make it is executable, so we change its permissions to be executable. Now we could start working with this file. We put in the first place a pass to our Python interpreter, our shebang construction, and let's get started. So we'll create list at the first time list. Let's create the list containing calling interfaces. Within this list, we will have for just numerous elements. Let's call them Ethernet 1, then Ethernet 2. So basically, it contains the names of the interfaces. Let's have just 3. It would be enough for us for now. Ethernet 3. So we have 3 elements. In order, so previously how we dealt with, we would call in the elements using its particular index. It's okay. I mean, in multiple cases, it might be sufficient, but if we have multiple elements and we would like to make sort of process in which each and every element, we need to start doing a loop. And the loop would look like at the following construction. So we put the instruction for, then we create a name of a temporary variable. We could call it as much as we like, so just it is a temporary variable of temporary name of the variable, which will be used only inside this loop. Outside of this loop, this variable does not exist. However, this inside the loop, this variable would have a content of the our each and every element which we are looking for. So we do for name of the temporary variable in, we put the name of our original list. And then we need to do indentation for 4 spaces. Remember, 4 spaces, all sort of construction where you do inside loop, inside conditionals, inside user-defined function, all of these functions we will cover so far later. You need to do this indentation. So 4 spaces, and then we start. The simple thing, as usual, we start with our formatted string and print function. So we'd say your element is, and we print the content of this particular element. So we just put the name of temporary variable, and let's execute the script in this manner. So we run it. We're getting, you see, your element is, and you get the value of each and every element. So basically what it does, start with the index 0 and then till all the elements which are part of this list adds the necessary value to this temporary variables that we have created, and this value is this variable is something we operate with. So once this is done, we could start thinking, okay, the last session spoken about that we could work more with dictionary, and there is a possibility to have a lists where each and every element, not just a value of like string or numeric data, however, a container, so a small dictionary, and we could create such a concept here. To do this, we will extend our element in the form that we could call, we could create the necessary entries out of dictionaries. So we put opening and closing brackets, the square brackets, let's call it name, and we create such a data construction. So you would see, just to put it everything on the screen, I will remove the short one, we don't need it right now. However, we modify our list in the form that it contains now 2 micro dictionaries. Each dictionary has key value pair. Now, if you work with our script right now, if we try to execute it, you see we are getting the content of each dictionary. So it prints the dictionary as a whole, so not just a single element, because this temporary element right now is a dictionary. So to sum up, this temporary variable takes the value of the element within the list, doesn't matter what it is. If it is just an ordinary value, string, numeric, boolean, fine, it takes this value and print directly the value. If it is a nested container or nested dictionary or nested list, it takes the whole this entry and goes further. So what we could do further, so we could add another string, and we might want to print exactly the value now within this dictionary. So we start working with a nested construction as we have explained in the previous session. So therefore we do the key name from element is, and we put that using formatted string, we put the name of this formatted string as usual, and we provide the name of the key which we would like to get the value for. So as we have explained in the previous session how to work with the dictionary, so we put the name of this temporary dictionary. So each container, each micro dictionary is taken out of the list. It's assigned for each iteration to this temporary variable interface entry. And we could call them keys exactly in the same way like we are working with a dictionary. Let's execute our script one more time. And you see we are getting particular this key value. So using this for script for list, you could do very flexible processing of each and every element if you need to do multiple activities. So why you might need to have this structure. So if you have multiple like interfaces and you need to do configuration of each and every interface, fine, you would need to have a list with the various dictionaries containing the elements, or you might have a list with your devices containing host names, IP addresses, credentials, type of operation system you would like to connect to. And that's another example where having this for construction would help you. However, for allows you to work only not only with the list, however, also with a dictionaries. And to work with the dictionaries, you would need to have another function which allows you to transform the dictionary into a list. There is a specific function called item. So let's take a look. Let's create a dictionary interfaces dict, or interfaces 2, let's call it, and we're creating a dictionary that would have 2 elements. So one element, each of these elements would be having a nested value. So the element would be calling Ethernet1. Why not? So we could create this, and it would have nested data. So the nested data would be speed is 10,000. So for instance, the speed of the interface, and enabled, it would be a Boolean. So the interface is enabled. So we would have 2 such entries in our dictionaries. So why we might have such type of dictionary instead of having like we had previously list. It depends entirely how data model is created, which you create or which you have taken from a certain vendor. So what is important here that if you cannot influence how the data model look like, you need to know how to work with the for loops, both for dictionaries and for list. So we have right now such a dictionary interfaces 2. It has two keys, interface Ethernet 1 and Ethernet 2. And each and every of these key contains some nested values. So they are a function that allows us to split their dictionary or to transform a dictionary in a sort of specific list containing tuples, where tuple is name of the key, and the second part of this tuple is its value. It's called items. So to look how the content of these items would look like, we'll just do the following. Print transformed dictionary. So, and you would like to print the content. As usual, we need to put some variables inside. So what we say, we would like to paint interfaces 2. However, not the dictionary inside, or we could actually do it in the following way. So original dictionary, we will print what exactly we have inside. And transform dictionary, so we put not we put processed or converted dictionary using items functions into a specific list. Let's execute our script. So you see, in the first case, we are getting original dictionary, and we just put the content of the dictionary. It is a dictionary, starting with a curly bracket, and then inside name of the key, nested key, just dictionary without any processing. The second, you see that it is called transform dictionary item, so it's specific sort of the function, and internally you see that it consists, so it is in a nutshell list, because you see the square brackets, and within the square brackets you see this typo. So the first element contains the so-called tuple with the two values. The first value is the name of the key. The second part of the tuple, or element of this tuple, is a value of the key. So now our initial dictionary is split into the list of the tuples, and what we could do further, we could say for, and at this already list, we could start working with this list in the format like we can start with the list. However, the tuple has two elements inside, and what we need to do right now, we need to make sure that both of these elements of our tuple has a temporary variable. So that's why I would call int key, int value in our dictionary, processed by the items function. And what we could do right now, don't forget, do for space indentation all the time. And we would have the key is and the value is. We use the formatted string, and what we could do, we create, we put here to the input of this formatted function both this element interface key and interface value. So the first element interface key, this temporary variable, would get the first part of the tuple. The second variable would have the second part of the tuple. So, and if we execute our script right now, I must have done some typo. Yes, so interfaces, sorry about, I'm trying to speak and type quickly and do sometimes the mistake. So now it should be working fine. And once we print the outcome of our, once we execute the script and get the outputs into the CLI, you see that the last two strings, it's getting what exactly we'd like to have. So we have the first part of the tuple, just key, it's printed as it should be. And the second part of the tuple is printed as a dictionary because it is in a nutshell nested dictionary. So using the for script, just summing up, using the for construction or instruction, we could go through each and every element in our list, and using the items function applied to a dictionary allows us to split the original dictionary into specific list containing tuples, where the first part of the tuple, first element in the tuple is the name of the key, and the second element in the tuple is the value of the key, and process then, so transform dictionary in a way like we do with the elements in the list. So this gives you enormous opportunity to process the structured data in the logical ways where you need to work with each and every element, configure interfaces, configuring entries in the access list, configuring your VRFs, configuring the client's routes, configuring the everything on multiple devices and having in the dictionary or in listed device. It's entirely up to you. The Python gives you real flexibility in terms of what you might want to have and in terms of what exactly you would like to implement. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel, repost it to the social media. If you want to learn more about network automation and how the Python is applied there, join our network automation course, which we start in 3 weeks from now on the 1st of April or 8th of April. We have 2 groups. And thank you very much for watching. Take care and goodbye.